Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Fact Friday video. If this is your first time landing on this channel, this is where we answer a lot of your most common industry related questions right here, right now. Today, what we're going to be doing is discussing in depth a little bit on the anatomy of our DEF poly tanks. So let's begin. The most common type of DEF tank that we've used in our industry for stationary purposes of diesel exhaust fluid storage has been the linear or HDPE poly tank. HDPE stands for high density polyethylene. The other option that is rare to us, although we've used it a handful of times, it's what's called the cross-linked poly tank. So how are linear tanks manufactured or made? So, picture this. Imagine a thermoplastic resin, right? Being heated to create this fluid plastic that will ultimately harden right into a surface. It will cure into a linear high density polyethylene sheet or surface, correct? The molecular structure of this type of tank, the way that it's connected, so stay with me on this for a second, is more like a rope, twisted together but not tied. And that's critical, so keep that in mind. These tanks are for sure 100% made at a much cheaper cost of manufacturing. They do a fine job, so there's certainly no worries there, and it's something that we've used for the last 10 years. In contrast, a cross-linked tank is made by, let's think about this, I would call it forming bonds, right, ultimately. And these bonds are really, created in between all these polymer chains. This is all part of this chemical composition of the resin. When we put all this together, ultimately, what happens is we dramatically increase the molecular weight of this chemical process that we're making, right? But look, enough with the science terminology. Let's stick to some of the basic, right? So ultimately what we get is a plastic that has been basically improved, and all of a sudden it becomes an impact and fracture resistance, but at a much higher manufacturing cost. So for the past 10 years, I would say that, 98% of our poly tanks that we worked on to create the mighty all-in-one DEF systems that we've had out there for a long time now, they've all been HDPE linear structure poly tanks, right? Working great, effectively, efficiently, with no issues whatsoever for those stationary mini bulk DEF tank purposes. So there you have it. A little bit of the anatomy of really the DEF tanks and the mini bulk tank systems, and just kind of going into the molecular and chemical structure of a lot of these tanks. I appreciate you guys staying with me. I hope it has been educational, and as always, I will see you back here next Friday.